Well, hello and welcome to all of our viewers around the world. I'm Fiona Lang-Sharp, IBCLC Director of Communications, and one of the MCs here at Gold Learning. Well, we're here today talking about all things coming up at our Gold Neonatal Online Conference 2026. We're so excited. We've actually got a full schedule. Everybody's getting all ready to go, and I'm delighted to say that I have a very special guest speaker here today. Margaret Saltysiak is here with us today and talking about nipple shields in the NICU. I know that's going to be a lot of people very favorite topic. Nipple shields in the NICU, evidence, indications, and best practice. And Margaret's going to be part of our special add-on package this year. We're very excited about that. It means that you can take a deep dive into this topic with Margaret. Welcome. It's great to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're excited. And of course, we know that when people buy this package for Gold Neonatal, they'll be able to watch it right away and,
Mhm.
take a deep dive into this topic. And I also know that you said that you're going to be available for questions, which is
Yes.
awesome. So all of our attendees, of course, get exclusive access to those forums where they can ask our speakers questions, connect with people around the world, because
Mhm.
that's what we're like here at Gold. We just love to be able to continue to connect folks. So
It's
I
so
have,
important, the connections.
yeah, absolutely. I have some questions for you.
All right.
And we were laughing offline. I'm going to tell people now because I feel like we could talk forever. We've only got a few minutes together here today, but stay tuned. It's going to be I know Margaret's going to be busy doing some things at Gold, and you said you're going to be working over hopefully on Gold Learning. We're going to a Gold Lactation Academy as well, which is
Mhm.
really awesome. So
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you over there. Let's talk about this first one. So I know you've worked in, many different places, which it gives you such a good perspective, I feel. I think that comes across in your presentation too. So you worked hospitals, private practice, public health.
Mhm.
And so when you think about the nipple shield in the NICU, what's the one misconception that you find yourself correcting again and again?
Yeah, I remind myself when I was working in the NICU, I feel like I would always quote that Myers study that, well, we know that babies that in the NICU that use the nipple shield transfer more milk. But
Right.
that was kind of only part of the story. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the missing piece. If that is the narrative that we're going around saying, we're really missing that there needs to be close follow-up. We're missing that data really only applied to a very small subset of the population. We're missing that the supply needs to be protected. We're really missing the bigger picture here. And I think that's a big piece of the problem with evidence in our field is that,
Right.
we hear a little bit of evidence and we glom onto it, but if we don't understand the context or the bigger picture, then we're not going to really actually be able to use it appropriately in practice. So that's the my hope with this is to show all of the evidence and how to interpret that and use what you've learned to apply it to your practice. I mean, we all have different settings and we're all
Right.
dealing with different, bureaucracies in our own settings.
Sure.
But I think that it's, we're all going to be able to kind of come away with a different lens when we look at all of this evidence together.
Yeah, this just struck me as a rethinking using critical skills,
Mhm.
to really look at because I mean, I have to be honest, I feel like sometimes I over the years have defaulted to saying certain things because I had been taught that way,
Yes.
or this is what the research said, so this is what applies.
Right.
But it's like you said, it's a very small part of the bigger picture. So why do we
Yes.
just use it as the sort of the trump card, to sort of say,
Yes.
oh, because this X, Y, and Z. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very fascinating.
Well, the other piece of that is all of the research that we looked at were all basically pilot studies. So
Right.
Myers' study was the most gives us the most strength about milk transfer in the NICU using a nipple shield. However, there was only one feeding with the nipple shield and one without in a sample of 34. So we need more researchers to repeat that so that we can confirm those findings because this is really really small data set to help guide us in all
Yeah.
the thousands of NICU babies that we see every day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting how we gleam onto things, and yes, everyone's got that sort of different background coming in and
Hmm.
we might be impacted, but it is really fun. It really interesting to get that perspective and then shift it completely.
Hmm.
So that's where
Yeah.
we're at. We're gonna shift things.
Yes.
Um so nipple shields, they can feel like this very much this gray zone in practice as well. So
Hmm.
can you tell me a little bit about yourself? In the sense of, what sparked your interest? What did you find? Did you find new things when you were digging deeper? And I know you also lecture as well, but
Yeah.
what is it that fascinates you about this topic when it comes to sort of clinical decision making, particularly in the NICU?
Yeah. I mean, as I said, I've worked in the hospital for a long time, and I tell my students all the time, we are not in the NICU, but just in the normal well baby floor postpartum. We
Hmm.
have a lot of things working against us. We have mostly medicated mothers and medicated babies. We have a lot of assisted deliveries. Um, we have mothers staying very, very short periods of time before they're getting discharged. And we have spitty babies and low blood sugar and all these things working against us, and then 100 people coming in. So the hospital is really not a great place to get set up with breastfeeding and start it off to a good start. And there's a
Mm.
lot of pressure to, well, has the baby latched? Have we gotten the baby latch? And I will speak for myself and a lot of other lactation consultants I've worked with in the field that we tend to use the nipple shield a lot because sometimes that's the only way to get the baby on the nipple before they get discharged at 24 hours. So and it's problematic because we don't have a whole lot of tools apart from a pump, which we know is not going to work great in those early days, and
Hmm.
supplementing. And if there's no
Yeah.
donor milk available, that's supplementing with formula, which is really going to hurt breastfeeding outcomes. So we don't have a lot of evidence around using it in that fashion. And these
Mm.
moms that are thrown on the nipple shield and then sent home, there's no real good follow-up plan. And when we're working in the NICU with these even more vulnerable dyads, there's even less guidance. It feels like even more the Wild West. So this comes up all the time in my with my Pathway 2 students, and I talk about this all the time. Like, why do we see so many kids going home from the NICU or from the hospital on the nipple shield? And this is it. The reality is our hands are kind of tied. We don't have a lot of options to get the baby on the breast before they
Mm.
get discharged from the hospital. So I really want to bring the evidence to the light so that we can see that we have so little. We don't have, we really have very little evidence about it. We need more evidence. So hopefully that will inspire other researchers to kind of replicate some of these studies, but also the important factors that I highlighted here about how we need to reassess, how we have to protect the supply, because the evidence that we have is mixed on milk outcomes and milk transfer, and how, follow up is so, so important. And if we don't have those things built in from the very first nipple shield use, we are setting these dyads up for failure.
Yeah, absolutely. It just reminds me that, for all the tools that we have, Margaret, the nipple shield to me, just one of the things that always bothered me is that to me it's an intervention,
Mhm.
and so at what point we just, it's like we're tossing, you get one, we're just
Yes.
tossing them out to everyone,
Yes.
but absolutely no follow-up. And
Mhm.
people aren't using them correctly. I mean, we all know this, so many things, but
Mhm.
it really does surprise me in given today's age that for medical interventions that we have in breastfeeding, that
Mhm.
there is nothing, no fallback for any of
Yeah.
these clients when they
Yes.
leave the hospital. Nothing. No. So
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I'm preaching to the choir here,
Yeah.
clearly, but it floors me that we're still repeat. It's like we're still repeating the same thing. It's the definition of insanity.
One of the things that I found really interesting, and I really wanted to try to add to this presentation, but it just wasn't feasible to do it, was to look at the available nipple shields on the market. So as I said,
Mm,
Medela tends to be the one that's most common in the hospital.
Sure.
But what I pointed out in in the presentation is that ultra thin, which we're calling these new ones today, is just a
Mm-hmm.
descriptor. It is no, there's no standards for ultra thin. And I mean, if you look at the variety of nipple shields that you can get, I mean, the thickness varies widely. This
Right.
would this is a nipple shield that's available on the market right now, and it looks a lot like that rubber hat, thick
Yeah.
one. This could cause so much damage if families don't know what they're looking at. And I even reached out to one of the creators of one of the nipple shields that's on the market to ask
Mm-hmm.
her about where did the measurements come from? Is there some
Right.
kind of standard for something like
Sure.
that? And she said there is no standard. There's nothing out there that exists to help us determine what is the best thickness, what is the best elasticity, all of that
Mm-hmm.
when we're thinking about how the breast works in the mouth. So it really kind of is the Wild West with these nipple
Yeah.
shields out here. So my advice usually is stick with the Medela ultra thin nipple shields. Just visually inspecting them, they tend to be the thinnest, stretchiest. Those are the ones that we have the most research about. But again, we don't know because Medela doesn't publish it if there's a consistency between the thickness between sizes or
Mm-hmm.
we really don't have any standards. So it's not the takeaway is not use them. The takeaway is to use them judiciously with really good measuring and really good follow-up.
I love that. I'm just thinking too that someone who's listening right now is about to, do a PhD, and is
Yes.
gonna do it on
Please do
this
it.
for sure.
Yes.
Please do it. We beg you.
Yes, we need more information about this to inform
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, as we wrap things up here, I want to ask you if something really stood out to you when you were doing this presentation, a takeaway, an aha moment, or even just a reprise in your own education. What was the one thing that you want to leave us with today?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing that we all need to keep in mind here is that these are all pilot studies, that none
Mm,
of it is confirming the findings. So we need to really look at all of the research with a very critical eye and keep really good documentation of what you are seeing in practice. Publish case reports of what you're seeing with nipple shield
mm.
use. We don't have much of that. So publish what you see because that's going to help inform practice going forward because what we have is so limited.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Margaret, for being with us here today. And again, coming up soon here at Gold Neonatal 2026, nipple shields in the NICU, evidence, indications, and best practices. You can head over to the website right now at goldneonatal.com to check out all the details of the upcoming presentations. And of course, don't forget to sign up for free to our keynote presentations as well. We'll look forward to seeing you there. Thank you again, Margaret, for being here today with me. It's been so much fun, enlightening, more to look at. I feel like this is just the tipping point of all the things that we need to continue to look at when it comes to nipple shields. And we'll look forward to seeing you again.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye for now, everyone.